They called me a nobody, a broke, invisible, forgettable waiter. The kind of man people don't even look in the eye. The kind of man they snap their fingers at. Hey, you, water. No name, no respect. Just you. But what they didn't know, what no one in that restaurant knew, was that I owned the entire place. And that night, I decided to stop pretending. Stay with me, because by the end of this story, you'll understand why sometimes the quietest man in the room is the most dangerous one. I still remember my first day walking into that restaurant. It was called La Belle Vie, elegant, expensive, exclusive. The kind of place where people don't check prices, they just order and judge. Crystal glasses, soft jazz, and egos bigger than the building. I wore a simple black uniform, white shirt, black vest, nothing special. And that's exactly how they treated me. Nothing special. A man snapped his fingers at me, not once, not twice, 3 times. "Hey, are you deaf?" I said, "Sparkling water." I nodded. "Of course, sir." And I walked away. But inside, I wasn't angry. I was observing, learning. Because every insult, every disrespectful glance, every arrogant laugh was teaching me exactly who these people really were. Then came her, my ex, Emily. She walked in wearing a red dress, laughing, on the arm of a man I'd never seen before. And when she saw me, she froze, just for a second. Then she smiled. Not a warm smile, not a surprised smile. No, it was the kind of smile that says, "I'm doing better without you." She leaned toward her date and whispered something. They both laughed. And then she looked right at me and said, "Wow, I guess this is where you ended up." That one sentence hit harder than anything else that night. You see, Emily wasn't just my ex. She was the one who left when things got hard. Back when I was building everything from scratch. Back when I had nothing except a dream. 3 years earlier, I had inherited a failing restaurant. This exact restaurant, La Belle Vie, my father's place. He built it from nothing, but by the time it reached me, it was drowning in debt, bad management, fake luxury, and customers who only came for status. Everyone told me to sell it, walk away, cut my losses, but I didn't. Instead, I did something no one expected. I disappeared. I didn't fire anyone. I didn't announce myself as the owner. No, I became a waiter because I needed to see the truth. Not reports, not numbers, not lies. The real truth. And what I saw changed everything. The manager was corrupt, taking cuts, mistreating staff, serving regulars first, ignoring others. The chefs, lazy, cutting corners, no passion, no pride. And the customers, they didn't come for food. They came for validation, to feel important, to feel superior. And night after night, I watched, I listened, I memorized every name, every habit, every weakness. And then that night came, the night that changed everything. Emily stood up from her table, walked straight towards me, her date watching from behind. "You know," she said, "I always knew you wouldn't make it." I stayed quiet. She continued, "You were always dreaming too big." Then she looked around, at the chandeliers, at the people. the luxury and said, "This world was never meant for you." That's when something inside me shifted. Not anger, not sadness, something colder, something final. I looked at her. For the first time, not as the man she left, but as the man she never understood. I smiled, calm, controlled, and I said, "You're right." She smirked, but then I added, "This world wasn't meant for me. It was built by me." She frowned, confused. Her date stood up. "What's going on?" That's when I turned and said, "Call the manager." The manager rushed over, annoyed. "Is there a problem?" I looked him in the eyes and said, "No problem. You're fired." Silence. He laughed. "Who do you think you are?" And that's when I said the words that changed everything. "I'm the owner." The room went silent. Forks stopped mid-air. Music felt like it disappeared. The manager's face turned pale. Emily stepped back. "No, that's not possible." I reached into my pocket, pulled out the documents, ownership papers, and placed them on the table. "I've been here the whole time, watching, learning, weeding." I turned to the staff. Anyone who treated customers with respect stays. Anyone who abused power is done. And just like that, everything shifted. I looked at Emily one last time and said, "You didn't leave me because I was nothing. You left because you couldn't see what I was becoming." She had no words, no comeback, no smile. Just silence. And as she walked out of that restaurant, I realized something. The loudest people in the room aren't the strongest. The richest looking people aren't the most powerful. And the man you ignore today might be the one who owns everything tomorrow. So the next time you look down on someone, because you never really know who you're talking to. And if you've ever been underestimated, let me know in the comments. I read every single one.